Ben Kentish on LBC.
It's 5:49. It's Friday afternoon. It's time for Simon Marks and his American Week.
Ben, as we chronicle life here in the United States every Friday, there are moments when it is important to recognise just how rapidly things are changing here and how irreversible some of the shifts may prove to be in the years ahead. This was a week when President Trump said things that not even his boldest predecessors would have dared to articulate. Richard Nixon craved an all-powerful executive presidency. So did Dick Cheney when he served as vice president to George W. Bush. But none of them ever said this.
I would have the right to do anything I want to do. I'm the president of the United States. If I think our country's in danger, and it is in danger in these cities, I can do it.
The president asserting no limits whatsoever on his authority. I have the right to do anything I want to do, he said there during Tuesday's cabinet meeting. And for the second time in as many weeks, he also flirted with the D word.
So the line is that I'm a dictator, but I stop crime. So a lot of people say, if that's the case, I'd rather have a dictator. But I'm not a dictator. I just know how to stop crime.
We will return in just a moment to the nervous laughter around the cabinet table there. But first, to the meat of the issue. The president now seems to be planning to test whether he has the authority to concoct a national security emergency out of thin air. Let's be absolutely clear. That's what he's proposing after flooding Washington with National Guard troops and other federal agents earlier this month to deal with a largely non-existent crime wave. He now wants to do the same in Chicago and then in New York, Los Angeles, and a host of other Democratic Party strongholds.
Mr. President, do not come to Chicago. You are neither wanted here nor needed here.
That is J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois and a possible runner in the race for the 2028 Democratic Party presidential nomination. This week, he warned every single Trump official, military leader, and even the men and women in uniform that accountability for their actions in the days and weeks ahead will come eventually.
To the Trump administration officials who are complicit in this scheme, to the public servants who have forsaken their oath to the Constitution to serve the petty whims of an arrogant little man. To any federal official who would come to Chicago and try to incite my people into violence as a pretext for something darker and more dangerous, we are watching. And we are taking names.
But you can watch and you can take as many names as you like. Democrats will only be able to seek the justice that they threaten if they win some elections. And this week, another top Democrat, Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, said the quiet stuff out loud. And listen carefully here, because the audience, even the host at a summit in Sacramento funded by the website Politico, took a while to grasp the gravity of the point the governor was making.
I don't think Donald Trump wants another election. You think for a second I have 24 Trump 2028 hats. His folks keep sending me.
And you think he's going to run again?
Who spends $200 million on a ballroom at their home and then leaves the house? This is serious, guys. This is serious.
So it'll be Newsom Trump in 28.
No, this guy doesn't believe in free, fair elections. He tried to wreck this country. Were you there, January 6th? I mean, he tried to light democracy on fire. Now he's doing it in plain sight. And people say, just Trump being Trump.
Trump supporters, of course, wave those suggestions off, absolutely offended that anyone might suggest democracy is unsafe in his hands. But it's not just the Trump 2028 hats that he now tries to offload on visiting heads of state when he escorts them to the White House gift shop that are raising questions about the future. It's also the increasing virulence of the rhetoric spouted by his leading ideologues. Take a listen to this. The Deputy White House Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, architect of the president's mass deportation program, laying the groundwork on Fox News this week for perhaps proscribing the Democratic Party as a criminal organization.
The Democrat Party does not fight for, care about, or represent American citizens. It is an entity devoted exclusively to the defense of hardened criminals, gangbangers, and illegal alien killers and terrorists. The Democrat Party is not a political party. It is a domestic extremist organization.
I think Lassie might be trying to tell us something, because there is no great leap involved between calling the Democrats a domestic extremist organization working to defend terrorists and then restricting the party's activities, rounding up their leaders and maybe even banning them. It would be rash to think that Mr. Miller doesn't believe every word that he says. Which takes us back to this week's cabinet meeting. If the Trump administration is not a dictatorship, word does not seem to have spread to his top lieutenants. For 3.25 hours this week, live on television, they slathered him in baby oil to an extent that even the North Koreans might struggle to achieve. They were all at it, but here in order are three of them. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, and U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff.
Sir, as we've said very often, economic security is national security, and our country has never been so secure thanks to you.
Thank you, sir. As we approach Labor Day weekend here, this is just such a great opportunity really to recognize your leadership as a true champion for working people.
There's only one thing I wish for, that noble committee finally gets its act together and realizes that you are the single finest candidate since the this Nobel Award was ever talked about. Your success is game-changing out in the world today, and I hope everybody one day wakes up and realizes that.
What is going on here? They've even got the synchronized applause nailed down.
Okay, if you didn't want to hear my lies, why did you come here? All right? If you don't want to hear anything I say, why did you come here? All right.
In the battleground state of Missouri this week, and in many other parts of the country, elected Republican lawmakers were getting an earful during the congressional summer break. Congressman Mark Alford there, a pro-Trump Republican, facing off against furious constituents, in this case, an elderly farmer.
Get Trump out of office. The man is a dictator. He knows nothing about what he talks about. You need to take your head out of Trump's ass and start doing your representation of us.
Scenes like that have been repeated nationwide and echo voter surveys showing the president's approval ratings underwater on all his signature issues: immigration, national security, inflation, and the economy. In Minneapolis this week, the start of the new school year witnessed tragedy. The by now all too predictable cadences of another school shooting being covered on America's news channels.
One child left with a bandage on his arm, raced to his mother for an embrace. It's clearly a very serious situation.
My friend got hit in the back.
Did he go to the hospital?
Yeah, he went to the hospital.
What went through your mind when you saw that?
I was super scared for him, but I think now he's okay.
Two children, an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, were not so lucky. They died in the Catholic school's chapel where morning mass was underway when the attacker, a 23-year-old former student, opened fire, shooting through the windows. Officials called the assailant, who died at the scene, a deranged monster, obsessed with the idea of killing children. Naturally, no action will now be taken to implement meaningful gun control in order to prevent the chances of the inevitable repetition. Among celebrities who have spoken out against gun violence, we have noted before on American Week the contribution of Taylor Swift. Her song, Only the Young, decries the failure to act by successive American presidents and is her most avowedly political work. This week, as you undoubtedly know by now, Ms. Swift made an announcement that immediately helped to lift the national mood. She and her boyfriend Travis Kelce, a football player with the Kansas City Chiefs, announced their engagement on Instagram. Your school teacher and your gym teacher are getting married, they wrote, a reference to her song So High School. Pictures showed her boyfriend down on one knee, Miss Swift sporting a massive diamond ring on her finger estimated to be around 8 carats. The American TV networks broke into programming to make the announcement.
Breaking news here on ABC News Live. It is just developing. It was just put in my hand, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have announced that they are engaged.
President Trump, who has said he hates Taylor Swift and considers her no longer hot, was asked for his reaction during Tuesday's cabinet meeting.
Well, I wish him a lot of luck. No, I think he's a great player. I think he's a great guy, and I think that she's a terrific person, so I wish them a lot of luck.
When and where the wedding will happen, who gets to go, we do not know. But the biggest thing in pop culture is on. A week that really needed a mood change, Ben, and it was occasioned by them both saying yes.
As good as ever, Simon Marks with his American Week.